chance to play with some incredible people in the Android Netrunner, rest in peace, and Magic the Gathering communities. But it's time to clean off the rose-tinted glasses and use what I've learned from the other games to dive into competitive YuGiOh. So, in all my wisdom and being distracted playing Monster Hunter Rise with my partner, I forgot to buy a locals entry this week and didn't realise until the rounds were about to start. So it's time for a backup plan. We're going to take this episode to focus on a different aspect of YuGiOh. With our first two episodes focused on learning the game and playing it, let's take some time to look at the collection side of the game. I've been wanting to figure out a control deck to build, so let's take this opportunity to start looking. Before we begin with that though, I want to go over the plan for the next episodes. One thing I was struggling for was an initial goal. Since topping a regionals is unrealistic for a handful of reasons right now, I wanted something smaller. And our store just delivered on that with a month-long league starting next week. Our plan is to play this league entirely with our current hero deck, and then once the league is finished, start looking at a second deck to expand our horizons. While winning the whole league would be sweet, I'm going to keep my expectations realistic as I'm expecting locals to be a bit more competitive than last week. So our focus is still going to be on learning as much as possible. With all that said, let's dive right into some collecting. Okay, so first let's just go through what decks we already have access to. First up is obviously our hero deck, the one we've been playing locals with and we're going to be continuing to learn going forward. We then have the Dynamash's Fury structure decks, which I've still left sealed. I don't have any interest in any cards in there right now. I don't believe there's any staples or anything in here that I don't already have access to, so I'm just leaving these sealed in case I want to do something with them that isn't just put together a deck I'm not actually going to play. So for now, those are staying sealed. And then we have this box of Dual Devastator. These boxes make great storage boxes, I've got to say. And in this case, we've used it to store a bunch of decks built from all the structure decks and the legendary hero decks and legendary dragon decks boxes. This one's zombies. So, this one's zombies. I believe, it's got a few dangers in it from the Megatins, some Ghost Ogre from Dual Power, the common ashes that are going to go in whatever deck I end up building, Mind Control from Dual Devastator, and then just basically main deck cards. I did order some Jacobolans to put in this deck recently because I thought zombies was going to be the one I was building up, but I'm not sure if that's entirely going to be the case. Because the next deck in the box, Salamangrates, is potentially one I'm very interested in playing. I considered this as a budget build first before I picked heroes because it's just a budget build, and you can tell I built this casually. This is banned. This is at 1. Yeah, this is just not a. This is at 1 too. For some reason. Yeah, you can tell this was built pretty casually, so I'm gonna be having to make a lot of changes to this. But I think Salamangrates are actually the deck I'm gonna put most focus on next because, as I said, they are a budget deck. And that means it's a great way to build like a control style deck without investing a load of money. And for the purposes of just learning how control decks tend to want to play and how they get punished, exactly what we're looking for basically. We then have Cyber Dragons, which was almost the deck I went with the main series for. It did come down to its decision between Cyber Dragons and Heroes, and I went with Heroes basically. I don't think I'm going to build this out anytime soon because there's a bunch of cards that didn't come in the legendary dragon decks that are quite expensive. Basically expensive as in about as much as the Vision Hero package. So, not saying I want to drop in a deck that I'm not really invested in, but if I ever want to change a pace and still want to play like a going first Kanoti or going second Kanoti K kind of deck, definitely considering Cybers if I ever get bored of Heroes. I'm not gonna spend too much time going through the rest of these. I don't plan to touch much of these side. Basically, the decks I put here were the ones I cared most about, which was Cybers, Salamangreat, and Zombies. Salamangreat is the one I'm going to be focusing on most. I did buy the Jacobones for Zombies, but they were so cheap that it was basically a non-brainer to do so. And the Cybers, this is too much money for me to upgrade right now when I don't plan to play it, so. And yeah, that basically just leaves us with the Salamangreat deck. So I did order some cards in, so let's take a look at those next. Okay, so now we know what deck we're going to be working with, and we'll put that to the side for a second because I want to address these two cards. These are the original order I placed for a couple Liquid Soldiers and an Honest News. Now, they're finally here. There's been a couple locals since they were supposed to arrive, but the long story short is I'm pretty sure they did get lost. The seller complained. They showed up next day. For some reason marked as delivered like 3 hours before we actually got a delivery. But anyway, they showed up miraculously next day. The envelope basically looks like they hadn't gone through processing at all. The stamp wasn't marked. The signed for label wasn't touched at all, so I'm pretty sure they just like got lost in processing and got expedited to me once he complained. So yeah, very thankful for that. The Heroes did come in, and yeah, X free drop on eBay if you're in the UK is an excellent seller to deal with. So now on to another singles order. These are from Magic Madhouse, and it's basically because they're all super cheap, and yeah, ordering stuff like what's in here off of eBay would have been so much per card because of shipping and fees that I just ordered a bunch of them off Magic Madhouse for like 20p a card. So if we just get right into these. I did also order something else off Magic Madhouse to qualify for their like free shipping deal, so we'll be getting into that later. Oh, there's nothing actually in the top loaders just to support the cards. So first up is a single Lady Debug and Free Flame Buffalo, which is for our Salamangreat deck. I originally added free debug to cart, but by the time I got to checkout, it had gone from 10 plus down to 1. So yeah, we need to find another way to get more of these. Transcode Toolkit and Update Gemma, because these are key parts of the Salamangreat win condition, and I saw how it played out with Avramax. I don't know if I'm gonna use Avramax. I do have Utopia Double, Utopia, and Double or Nothing, so I was considering using that as a win con, but Avramax isn't actually that expensive, so I might just go with this and Avramax, but these cards were super cheap off Magic Madhouse anyway, so yeah, decided to pick them up. Got a Phoenix and a Unicorn in a low rarity, but again, super cheap cards. I would have picked up more of these, but they literally had one of each, so we got some staple links. Then finally, we got some Mud Dragons and a Predaplant Dracostapelia. Again, probably would have picked up another one of these if they had more, but yeah, I just picked up some Super Poly targets while I found them cheap, because I feel like in a control deck, Super Poly is a really great card, and it's a card I've always kind of liked the idea of, like with the elemental heroes that require a hero and an elemented creature, like The Shining or Escarado or Absolute Zero. And I always like the idea of, oh, I'll just use my hero and one of your monsters and just make my fusion and out something on the board. I get that Super Poly is now used for a bit more egregious methods of just taking 2 of your opponent's things on the opponent board, usually 2 darks or a dark and a fusion. I actually already own Starving Venom from the Legendary Dragon decks, so that I think completes our Super Poly package now. So that's a bunch of cards to go in our Salamangreat deck, and I think I am going to go for the Super Poly build initially, if for no reason other than it's kind of reactive, like your opponent's got a board and you just out what's on their board, which is kind of the way I play now. Whereas a lot more traps and stuff require you to anticipate, know what the opponent's going to be doing, and I'm not quite at that stage yet, so we'll start with Super Poly and maybe we'll move away from it as we become a bit more proactive with our controlling elements. So yeah, that's our cards for Salamangreat. While we were on Magic Madhouse, I thought it'd be a little rude just to order a load of cheap singles and, well, end up paying a bunch of shipping because those singles did not come to enough to qualify for their free shipping, so I ended up going for a couple bits of sealed product. Now, this is purely for that kind of like, you know, dopamine kind of hit of just pack cracking, which I find pretty core to a TCG experience. When I'd play Magic, it would just be a case of, you know, you get your pack at the end of the night and you crack it and you get something good or you don't. And I've been missing that because obviously no in-store play and not really been cracking packs much recently. So despite not actually necessarily needing anything in these sets, I just wanted to crack them open to do some good old-fashioned opening. So let's just get straight into it. I am gonna start off with the Mega Tin, I think. So both of these products actually have a reason for buying them. The first is Maximum Gold, because I saw a few of the like gold rares in some games I was playing at locals and they looked incredibly pretty, so I wanted to get some for myself. Actually, I'll just put this to the side for now. And yeah, I just wanted to get some for myself, but there wasn't like any that I desperately needed, so why not just crack a box and see what we get. So first up though, we have the Megatin. Yeah, I got a single Megatin 2019 for Christmas, and that was fun to crack. That was a couple years ago now, but yeah, Christmas isn't going to come around by the time these are gone, so let's just crack them open now. And I think there's like one really good card in this set that everyone wants in Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, but yeah, it'd be cool to pull it, but I don't have any plans for it. So going through the pack, we have Hyper Psychic Riser, Rinsa Sea Star. These are a lot of cards I've not seen before, but Foxer I definitely have. World Legacy Cliffhanger, Trickstar Fusion, Subterra Succession. Moving on to some holos, we've got Dances with Beasts, Astragals, Marincess Coral Anemone, Infinitrack Riverstormer, Time Thief Redoer. I think I've seen this in someone's like sealed only series, and they were really happy to get it. I don't actually know if this is like a great pull in terms of value, but yeah, Dark and Xyz, maybe with the whole Phantom Knights thing, I'll take a look at this. And then we have Link Mayo Archfiend. We have Galactic Spiral Dragon, Infinitrack Drag Shovel, Nebula Dragon, Infinitrack Tunneler, Monk of the Tenyi. A Link one that just needs a non-Link Tenyi. I'm assuming that's relevant for the Tenyi archetype. And Unchained Twins, Rakia. So, as expected, I knew basically none of the cards in there. I recognized Time Redoer from Sealed Only series, but other than that, the only thing I recognized was Foxer, which comes in the Salamangreat structure deck, so let's keep moving on. We have Guard Dragon Justicia, Pegasus Wing, Dino Wrestler Marshall and Kilo, Heater the Fire Charmer Ablaze. I can't remember if I actually have got one of these already, but that's pretty cool to see. Salamangreat Violet Chimera. I don't remember if this is in the starter deck or not, but if not, it may end up going in the deck. Dino Wrestler Martial Anger, Valkyrie Urda, Evil Eye Retribution, which has like a random speck of foil up there. It's just a generic negate card for Evil Eyes. Moving on, we have Destined Rival. Like Dark Ruler no more, but only if you have a Blue Eyes or a Dark Magician. That's kind of a weird card. But it's also a trap, which makes it a bit worse. We then have no material. Okay, so it's a hand trap that like tries to stop specifically like Link 1 plays, I guess. And then we have World Legacy Monstrosity. Again, I don't know what World Legacy is, so I have no idea how good that is. Then we have White Aura Monoceros. Tyrant Farm? Did this used to have a different name? I recognize this art from... I recognize this art from way back when, but I can't remember if I'm just recognizing like the characters or if this is a renamed card with the same art. And we have Marincess Crowntail, Gladiator Beast Atorix, Unchained Twins Rakea, Marincess Battle Ocean, and Spiritual Entanglement. I'm starting to see the archetypes that are printed here. I don't think these Megatins like print enough of archetypes that you could just like crack a load of Megatin packs and build that archetype, but that's nice to see. Okay, we have Destiny Hero Drawhand, Subterra Succession, Salamangreat Wolvie, Dino Wrestler Escaramenci? Escaramenci. That was close. Time Thief Bezelship, Xyz Sledolphin, Mermail Abyssalicia? Abyssalicia. Okay. I've heard of mermails before. I don't know what they do, but sweet. We have Time Thief Winder to go with our Redoer. Strength in Unity, which I think is another one of those... Yeah, it's another one of those Blue Eyes and Dark Magician cards. So, Win the Wind Charmer Verdant. And Cyberse Quantum Dragon. That's actually really good card. If I have a deck that needs a generic Link, 7-star Synchro, I'll probably put that in it. Subterra Guru, Marincess Current, Tenyu Spirit and Hatter, Defender of the Labyrinth. Damn, that's a piece of artwork I've not seen in a while. I think I used to have like the original, like just plain old Monstro version of that. Harpier Squadron, The Return to Normal, and Gladiator Nomachia. Okay, so I don't know if anything in here is of insane value, but I think there were some pretty cool cards in here. I think Redoer and Cyberse Quantum are probably like the cards that have the most potential in terms of value, but I won't actually know until I look them up. So now we get on to the thing I bought basically because the cards are really, I think the cards are quite pretty. So on to Maximum Gold, first pack. So I've seen a few people open this set before. I don't know where the gold, like the gold bordered cards are going to be, if they're at the back or spread throughout. I think in the US they're spread throughout, and in the EU they're at the back. It looks like they might be at the back here, so let's just get through it. We're actually kind of hoping for a rare in this pack of Lady Debug, because we obviously didn't get all three of the Lady Debugs we wanted. But first we have a Synchron Carrier, a Caligo Crow. Man, they really like making their names tongue twisters. Go Gigas. It's really weird seeing the like ultra rare. Well, it's a bit darker than ultra rare gold, but like the ultra rare text on a blank card or a non-foil card. Then we have Tachyon Transmigration. Then we have Silent Angler and Artifact Lancia, so we get a bit of a rarity bump in our side deck. And Stardust Charge Warrior. Okay, this is a card I actually know because the Virtual World player used it against us and it seemed really reasonable in that deck. Oh wow, the text box is all glossy as well. So yeah, my camera is not gonna do these justice at all, but this gold frame in person looks incredible. And like there's no way my camera can get that detailed, but you can at least see there's like a gold border around the warrior himself, and oh my god, it just looks amazing in person. Those cards are absolutely beautiful. It's a real shame I don't have a camera good enough to capture the detail and quality of that, because they're incredible. Okay, on to the second pack. We have Domain of the True Monarchs, number 39, Utopia Beyond. We have the first Monarch. Then we have Grapha, Dragon Lord of Dark World. Man, Dark Worlds, that's a throwback. I remember playing with the Dark Worlds in one of the, I think it was GBA games. It was a pretty fun deck for the time, but back then nothing was particularly consistent. So then we have the White Stone of Ancients for some Blue Eyes action. And then we have Elder Entity Entis. So I have been keeping up with Rev's card's second season of From Scratch, and this is a card I at least know what it does. So probably one I'm gonna get to use at some point in the future. I don't know when in the future that is, but at some point. And then we have Eldritch the Golden Lord in Golden Frame. That, I don't know if this is going to be more expensive than his original printing, but now if I build Eldritch, they all need to be in this rarity, because oh god, that is actually a beautiful frame. Like, older gold rares had this like really tacky kind of name that was hard to read, and the border was like, I think this is not necessarily the first set of gold rares, but at some point the gold rare borders became like this really dark but shiny, like browny gold, and it didn't actually look that great. This rework of the gold rares is astounding in my opinion, and yeah, that, I mean, I'm pretty sure Eldritch is still a meta deck, so that's a really great pull to see. And that is, it's just absolutely beautiful to look at. I mean, most of the cards in the Eldritch deck I believe are secrets in their printing, so it's not like, oh, we pulled an Eldritch, I'm going to go build an Eldritch control deck, because I imagine that's still going to be way too expensive for my budget, but definitely going to be holding on to that guy. So, moving on to the next pack, we have Drowning Mirror Force, number 74, Master of Blades, Fire Formation, Gyoku, a gold rare terraforming. I believe all my copies are common, so that's a little rarity bump. A Link Karibo. Now this is a card I don't actually have, so this is really nice to see. Then we have another Elder Entity Entis, so whatever deck this ends up going in is definitely sorted. And then we have Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. And the way I was holding that first kind of tricked me, because the way her art is done makes this look like a gold ghost rare almost. I don't think that exists, but holy, this is a beautiful card. The Xyz border with the gold, oh, it just looks incredible. Man, those gold rares are absolutely knocking it out of the park with how incredible they look. I kind of want to grab some a couple more Lanciers to fully bling out our side deck copies, but for now, not going to be chasing bling, because yeah, first I actually need to get some play pieces, then we can worry about bling. So, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist, Buffalo, number C101, Silent Honor Dark. Okay, Silent Honor Arc is in the Jewel Devastator, so I was kind of expecting to read that, but then we have Lost World. I believe this is in the Dinosaur Structure deck, so maybe a rarity bump there. Unexpected Die. Oh, this is like a, what's it? A Heroes. Oh, I've completely forgot what the name of the card is. Scrap Recycler. And Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. That's a nice card to get in this rarity. It's like 7th copy of Ash, but I think this might be the most beautiful one we've got. So, and then finally we've got A Forbidden Chalice in gold rare. I believe I'm going to be just going and getting some sleeves right after this and putting these away in the binder because, yeah, I don't want to scuff up these borders at all. In terms of what we'll see play, or like what I might use, I might put the Ash and the Lancia in my hero deck because I really like the border and I think it's really pretty, but having mismatched rarities actually like really bugs me. I'm the kind of person where when I played Magic I would specifically avoid foils because even if they were the same price I wouldn't want just one card in my deck to be a foil, and that may seem like super OCD, but it's just, yeah, it just kind of irks me. So maybe I'll hunt down some additional Lanciers. I know Ash is quite an expensive card, and this is like my 7th Ash, so I'm not going to go for 8 and 9 just to match them. And then Forbidden Chalice, I think, was at some point an incredible card. And yeah, this set is actually like incredible in my eyes. Like, these cards look beautiful. I think the Xyz border with the gold is like down, like it's just like by far my favorite. And then the white in this light, the white kind of makes it a little washed out, but still, this, yeah, the way they've done the border around the actual warrior himself, this is something else. The like, compared to anything we got back in the day, these are beautiful. And yeah, I'm definitely rambling about that way too much. So yeah, it was nice to just crack open some packs for the good old dopamine hit. The fact that you can just buy a pack or like buy a box off a shelf and just get a bunch of beautiful relevant cards is like really something excellent. I remember buying tins when I was a kid and I wanted to get the Sapphire Pegasus tin, and I ended up buying it from Argos, who at the time basically just, they listed the tin as like Sapphire Pegasus. I'm assuming someone picked what artwork they used, and instead of that I got some like volcanic dude that was like 3000 attack and a massive nightmare to summon, and then the packs in it were just like a bunch of random stuff. I really wanted the Sapphire Pegasus because I loved Crystal Beasts, and I still do. Kind of sad that I don't have my Crystal Beast cards anymore, even if they were just like from the commons from the raw yellow mega pack. But yeah, that was my experience of buying this stuff as a kid, and yeah, comparatively just being able to buy packs that are a bit more expensive, I will admit, but just get some like really nice looking, really playable cards is, yeah, that's a really nice experience. So it's kind of like giving those playable cards a really nice visual treatment, and at the same time making them less common so that people buy more products. So it's a win-win on both parts. I've always thought that Magic's had a reprint problem because you can't reprint stuff like fetch lands, which are play pieces that are almost mandatory in the modern format of Magic, but are incredibly expensive. And you can't really reprint those, like just using the same art or whatever, in a new set without crashing the price of the old ones, because there's nothing to distinguish them. Like, let's take Eldritch for example. You could print a common Eldritch in a structure deck or something, and the foil versions would still hold a bunch of value because they're just more visually appealing. The play piece is more accessible, but those who invested in the foils keep more of their value when the reprint happens. So that's something I really like about YuGiOh, the fact that they can do that. And yeah, I also understand that if a card is printed as secret and it's super good and you need it, and it ends up costing like 80 quid or whatever, then you have to make a choice between being less competitive for a while you wait for the reprint, or splashing out the money just to know that you're gonna lose it. But ultimately, when it comes down to just making cards accessible, YuGiOh does a pretty good job of it compared to other games. Now, I'm an advocate of the living card game model that Netrunner used, and yeah, nothing will compare to that. But this is good. I like this. Okay, so a little bit of a time cut here because I just got a package from the locals I've been playing at. So these are the prizes for playing at the 2 locals we've played at so far. It doesn't include the field center from the Back to Jewel event because they just haven't got those in yet, so they sent this ahead of time. And also because I ordered the YuGiOh Showdown structure decks off of them because they've still got them at MSRP, and these decks seem to be like really hard to find at MSRP in general. Most places I've looked, they're about 15-20 quid a pop, so pick these up at sub 10 quid each, sub 10 quid each, and those are gonna go sit in the sealed pile. Now, I was originally going to be building up the Salamangreat deck as my control budget deck of choice, but I think I'm going to be instead looking into playing some YuGiOhs because what I said earlier about really liking the super poly style of elemental heroes with all the elemental heroes, or all the attributed heroes in the extra deck, is basically how the YuGiOhs play. And they have a lot of trap-based gameplay as well, so Trap YuGiOh seems like a pretty reasonable budget deck from before the ban list, hopefully still good now, so we'll look at building that, and that'll be our control deck of choice. And if it ends up being too expensive, then we'll just stick with the Salamangreats, but for now we've at least got the structure decks sitting over there sealed up. Next up, we've got some product to open from the events that we played in. So these are from, I think, placing 3rd in last week, and then this was from the Back to Jewel week. Should have a field center with it, but no field center. So this is a Lost Art card, I believe. It's V2C Dragon Catapult Cannon, which I'm just gonna leave sealed up in this little bag in my binder because this is actually a really cool nostalgia card, but it's not exactly one that sees a lot of play. It's taken me a bit to get used to camera settings and stuff. I'm not really much of a videographer before this, so still getting the hang of it. And another annoying thing I'm running into is that basically webcam settings don't save through reboots, so I think every clip I'm shooting right now is completely different, so I'm gonna have to figure out some base settings that I always stick to. But for now, we got a few packs to open, so let's just get into this. I think this is the most recent core set, so let's just get right in. Well, that could have been easier to open. Okay. So, got a digital bug. A Spriggans. I have no idea what's in this. Another Spriggans card. Knight of Armored Dragon. Or I've got no idea what's in this set at all. And then our foil is White Baking. Now, I don't think there's rares anymore, so I think every set's guaranteed a foil. So, it's a pretty nice change compared to before. S4 Specimen, Breath of Acclamation, Linear Equation Cannon, and Pendulum Encore. I have no idea what most of these cards are, but I'll give them a read through later. Now onto the OTS packs. Now I've got no idea if these are sweet or if they're just little extras for having played in a tournament. So let's get into them and find out. Again, I've got no idea what's in these packs, so this is going to be a complete surprise to me. Okay. Armed Dragon level 7. There's another nostalgia card. DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation. And a crossover. Basically lets you equip your opponent's monster to your warrior. And then next up, we've got Mahama, the Fairy Dragon. Another Armed Dragon level 7. And a Barricade Borg Blocker. Nice that we got a few little goodies for having played in the event. But yeah, this is cool. I'm definitely just keeping this sealed up because I don't think I'm ever going to play it, but it's a nice little bit of, a nice little nostalgia card. So yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Unfortunately, no locals this week, But next week we're going to be getting back into locals, and it's going to be the start of a league month at the store. So we're going to be competing in that and see how we do at the end of the league. So hope you're looking forward to that as much as I am, and I'll see you in the next episode.